Going live, going live. Johnny 5 is alive. What's going on, guys? I hope I can find everyone in wonderful spirits here on Tully Television. Um, First Friday night stream that was supposed to happen last night, but decided to hold off on it because I was kind of busy throughout the day and wasn't really able to prepare anything to talk about for the night properly. But I was able to get some stuff together to give my thoughts about some things that I've seen over the week, as I usually do here on these streams. But I hope I find again everyone in great spirits, and if that means that you have yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe bar down below, hit all on that notification bell there, so you'll always be aware of an episode of Tully Television. But tonight I want to start off. I kind of realized last week that I messed up the stream that I was doing initially. That I was talking about a movie I'd seen called *Malignant*, and the first part of it was what I was talking about, like the writer and the director and the actors or what have you. But it ended up uh, getting disconnected during the stream, so I didn't realize how much I did lose in translation, so to speak. So I just kind of want to go over that movie again because I thought it was a pretty good movie, even though it's not really getting good reviews or bringing any type of money in. I still think it's a pretty decent movie. It's written and directed by James Wan, who did Saw and you know um, this movie where uh, the ghost or whatever was Mary Shaw, she with the puppets. Uh, Also, Ingrid Busey and Kayla Cooper also helped write the movie. Uh, Annabella Wallace played Madison Mitchell. Maddie Hassan played Sydney Lake. George Young played Kiko Shaw. Nicole Brianna White played Regina Moss, the partner of Kiko Shaw in the movie. They were both police. And Jean Louise Kelly, Jane Doe slash Sharina. The movie basically was about um, this being that seemed to be in some sort of asylum that um, this being needed to be locked away because it was very violent and stuff. And finally, it seemed like these doctors did some sort of surgery to cure whatever was uh, physically and mentally ailing this being. So we skip ahead 20 years later. Um, that initial being was called Gabriel. Uh, so we jump ahead 20 years later and we see the Annabelle Wallace character, Madison Mitchell. She's a nurse, she's pregnant at the time, and she's married. She comes home one night, and the husband, who's kind of a jerk, well, not kind of, he is a jerk. Him and her get into an argument, and he attempts to go after her physically, which would hurt the stomach of and the baby inside, and she bugs out, and he winds up punching her in the stomach and pushing her where she cracks her head open on the back of the wall. And with that, we jump ahead later on in the night because she locked him out. We see the husband downstairs sleeping on the couch because she's not letting him in for obvious reasons. But he didn't leave the house. He decided to sleep down in the living room. He hears noises and he gets up to investigate, but can't exactly find out where the noises are coming from. And finally, when he goes back to the living room, he sees the TV on, It's kind of staticky. You can't really tell what's going on with the screen. And this someone sitting in the couch, and he puts the light on to see real quick, but then no one's there, and he winds up finally coming across what it was, and it was this very tall being with long black hair and a distorted face, and winds up breaking the neck of the husband. Very similar to what Gabriel looked like in the beginning of the movie. He's also able to move himself through electricity somehow. You gotta, it's a movie of, exaggerated proportions, obviously, to be a horror movie. You have to have some sort of suspension of disbelief. But, um, so the police come. The female cop thinks it's her, but doesn't really know because of the past history of him abusing the wife. And she's had several miscarriages before, and she winds up losing this baby, which causes her to kind of go into a catatonic state for a little while. And then her sister Sydney comes and uh, tries to help take care of her, and she brings her back home. And she explains to the sister what happened that night, and then also drops a bombshell that she was adopted before the sister was born. And it surprises the sister. And then they kind of talk a little bit about what it was that they think it was, or who it could have been. And um, some more time passes on. And then we jump to a scene where the doctor from the beginning of the movie, where they were getting ready to do this procedure, comes home, or is it at home or in an office setting, in some sort of building somewhere or at their home, and this same being that broke the husband's neck is now ready to take care of this doctor in a violent way, and the being does, he kills this doctor from the beginning of the movie. But at the same time, Madison, right, sees the murder happen as if she's there, but she's not there. She's at home, so she's not sure how she's able to do that. They go to her and the sister go to the cops to explain it because uh, she was able to lead them to where the body was, and so they're very leery now on if she's really involved in this or not, or her connection is obvious to these things, to these string of things now that are happening. And as she's trying to describe the being to the cops that she sees in these visions, they again seems like it's crazy talk, and they kind of dismiss it as crazy talk, and realize that there's more to it, or at least the female cop sees that there's more to it than what's going on, because again, it's starting to build up a little bit, a pattern. Then we see another doctor get deleted from the beginning of the movie that also helped with this procedure. And Madison was again able to see this vision, but this time the police officer was able to track down this doctor, but he got there too late, but did had an encounter with Gabriel. They fought for a little while, and there was a chase scene, and then eventually down in these old town tunnels from like 100 years ago that were built over, uh, the cop lost Gabriel. And now the sister's starting to remember Gabriel because now she's starting to converse with him through some sort of communication through the mind and the phone or whatever, these electronic devices. The sister and Madison go to the mother, and the mother explains through a videotape that she put on from the Madison's ninth birthday party that they thought Gabriel was an imaginary friend that she had, and it led her to want to do harmful things to the mother and to the baby sister when she was a baby, because Gabriel was jealous of that scenario, of that family that she had, of that family connection. And we we then see Gabriel kidnap at some point in the movie a woman who gives tours in these lower town tunnels, and that woman was found in Madison's attic. She fell through the ceiling while the cops were there questioning her about the second doctor's murder. They wound up arresting her. Because of that, the woman that was kidnapped and fell through the ceiling went to the doctor. The sister decides to do an investigation at the old orphanage that the sister grew up at before being adopted by her mother. And we come to find out that Madison's mother was 15 and decided to give Madison up because of Gabriel being attached to Madison as a Siamese twin. That's like the big reveal of the whole movie, is that near the end we see that Gabriel was somehow a Siamese twin to Madison. They shared, he was like on the back of her head, but he didn't fully form. But after a while, he started to form and wanted Madison to do violent things, so they decided to do a procedure to remove him and then kind of compress the rest of him into her brain where hopefully she would forget. But when the husband pushed her and she cracked the skull open, it awakened Gabriel somehow, and then Gabriel was able to take control of her body and commit these murders. And we see the transformation happen in a way in the jail cell she's in, because these ladies in there with her start messing with her. There's about like 20 of them in there. And we see Gabriel come out through the back of the head and kind of like able to contort her body into being him, being able to control it somehow. So she's really moving backwards because he's making the limbs go forward for himself. So it depends, I guess, who wants to control the limbs, who has the more mental over the other twin, so to speak. Accumulates up to the hospital room where the woman that fell through the ceiling, her hospital room. She's the mother who gave them up, and Gabrielle attempted to kill the mother and the baby sister, but Madison was able to overcome Gabriel and lock him in some sort of psychic cage in her mind, and hopefully stay powerful enough to, um, keep him locked away for the time being. But you can always make this into a sequel if you want. I thought it was pretty good. Not the best horror movie I've seen. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Definitely worth the watch. But I've definitely seen better James Wan movies. I mean, shoot, Aquaman was $1 billion movie. The Saw franchises all started with him. I'm sure he's been involved in a dozen other projects I'm forgetting right now. So definitely a guy that uh, has a good finger in the pot for this. So, you know, definitely a good movie. Like I said, just above average. Nothing fancy. Some of the graphics and scares were pretty good. It was pretty gnarly with the kill scenes. So if you like that, you'll definitely like this movie. So that's my views on that movie fully. I'm glad I was able to get that out. Um, I also wanted to show you guys this. Chrissy had found this for me, and I thought this was the neatest little thing. It was a mini Skeletor. one of my favorite cartoon villains of all time. Doesn't have anything on the back, so I'm not really sure if it was a set anywhere, but supposedly uh, licensed by Mattel. There's a little Mattel thing there. I don't know if it's a legit licensing thing from He-Man, but definitely an awesome little pickup. So that's my little collection here. I love it. Skeletor's gonna go right next to Kang there, the Conqueror. King the Conqueror. I should have my little lion too. Maybe I should make the Green Lion excited about a new 80s compadre. He's sniffing Skeletor up. Oh my god. I want to show you that a little bit. If I can get it. Maybe I can get it. Maybe. There we go. He's sniffing out Skeletor. So cool you go. Yeah, so that's was my thoughts on that movie and showing you Skeletor. Now, I know what I'm about to get into next. Hydration. I know what I'm about to get into next. Some people are not necessarily into, and that's okay. But I'm definitely into wrestling, WWE, and I know that all the stuff that comes with it. I'm a grown man and understand the whole tactics and the rigmarole of professional wrestling, and I still like it. And I currently watched this pay per view they did in Saudi Arabia, the capital city out there. I don't want to mispronounce the name of it because I don't want to be disrespectful. I just know it was in the country of Saudi Arabia or the kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It was called Crown Jewel, and I'm just going to go through some of the results here that and the winners and my quick thoughts on the matches. I might get into a little bit more than other matches, but yeah, it started off the Usos versus the Hurt Business for the tag team titles, or one of them. WWE has two shows, so they have two separate titles for everything, which is dumb. They should just combine the shows and the titles and make them more prestigious. This one I liked a lot, Edge versus Seth Rollins, a Hell in a Cell. But what I felt was that they started the pay-per-view off that way, and I feel like they did so. It was such a great match in a way where they did so much in it that now it was kind of hard for everyone else to figure out what to do in the match to make them memorable on their own. And sometimes it's good to have certain types of segments and different type of characters and people meet, so to speak, in the ring. But yeah, I would have put that on later. That was kind of a bigger match, but that was a great match. We have Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair, which I was kind of wondering if she was going to win the title, but they also Sasha Banks was in the match too. But Becky Lynch, Becky Lynch wound up winning and keeping her title. She did like this roll up and held the ropes type of thing. I love it because it's kind of like such a heelish thing to do, and I love heel champions. So I know they try hard to make her a heel, but she's so popular, people are gonna root for her anyway. She's pretty badass in real life too. Um, just interesting career as well. We also got Arcade Bro, which is Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, and then the other tag team champions, and they faced AJ Styles and this guy almost who's like 7 foot whatever, like four. He's really big, so that's the attraction. And then he's so even with these big guys, he's so much over heads and shoulders over them. So imagine, like for me, I'm 5'8". If I'm wearing a pair of boots, I'm 5'9". And then say a 6'5" guy is going to tower over me. So how much taller does that other guy have to be towering over him? And how much shorter I would look in retrospect to that. I always thought that was kind of funny, those type of things. But yeah, big dude. But they ended up losing. Matt Riddle and Randy Orton won that one and kept the titles. We have Xavier Woods versus Finn Balor for the King of the Ring title, and Xavier Woods won that. And he had this kind of cool little segment where he was yelling at the cameraman to, if I tell you to cut the feed or cut video or this angle, that angle, you do it. And so that was pretty funny. He started in the back. He started kind of petitioning for it in the locker room with the management, and they kind of did this tournament to kind of in regards to what, yeah, let's do it, and let's give it to him for now being he kind of resurrected the idea again, which I thought was pretty cool. WWE isn't always known for doing the right thing sometimes. Uh, Big E versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE title. Um, Big E ended up winning, but this was a really good match. It was two big guys going at it, and Big E came out on top. And then we have, because I want to talk about that match last. We had Mansoor versus Mustafa Ali, and these two had a great match. Mansoor is from Saudi Arabia, so usually he has these he's never lost in Saudi Arabia, and so he won here too, and it was a good match. Mustafa Ali and Mansoor are both excellent wrestlers. They haven't, that quick pace I like sometimes. But sometimes I like the quick guy versus the big guy and see who wins there too. And then I really like two big guys going at it where do I fighting. Two beefcakes pounding it out in the ring. But we had Selena Vega versus Dewdrop for Queen of the Ring, which Xavier Woods also suggested as a compilation. And Selena Vega, like I said, versus Dewdrop, and Selena Vega won Queen of the Ring. Another big marquee match that you could have for like a WrestleMania was Goldberg versus Bobby Lashley in a no holds barred match, and Goldberg ended up winning that. Of course, Goldberg. Good legacy though in a general sense. And Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. This one I was looking forward to because of the story behind it, where Paul Heyman used to manage both of them. Yeah, he used to do Brock Lesnar first, and he's currently been like managing Roman Reigns, or is the advocate, or what have you, tribal council, what the gimmick is at the moment. Because Roman Reigns is doing this like Samoan head of the table type of gimmick with the Usos, and they call it the Bloodline. And so this and Brock Lesnar's been planting seeds of doubt for Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman kind of got involved, but you can't really tell who he was trying to help. So they're keeping it up for the time being, and it's an interesting story. I think so, anyway. Again, I like wrestling. I like wrestling, so I know there's a lot of others out there that like it for the entertainment purposes. At this point, where uh, the glitz and glams sometimes is pretty fun, and then the athleticism is outstanding. If you can get two people, whether it's two women wrestlers, two male wrestlers working well together, or a combination of the two, or whatever the combination, it's fun to watch. Last thing I guess I'm going to talk about, because I went through a lot of these things and I thought it was going to be a bit longer with it, but maybe I'll talk about that real quick. Yeah, there was a big brouhaha with um, jeez, Alec Baldwin. Okay, Alec Baldwin wound up shooting and offing someone and injuring another person. Uh, the person who wound up passing away was Helena Hutchinson, and she was the director of cinematography. And the person who got injured is director Joel Souza. And they were on a movie set called Rust. It was supposed to be a western. And yeah, he supposedly had a prop gun that had ammunition in it, from what the initial reports are gathering, unbeknownst to him. Uh, they're trying to, law enforcement's currently trying to figure out why there was even live ammunition on the set. If it's supposed to be just a movie set. Um, so there's that. Uh, Still investigation to go. And to be honest with you, with Alec Baldwin being a producer also of this movie and his past with certain things, you wonder sometimes, do things come back to people as a karma type of sense? And sometimes, unfortunately, when karma hits someone, it's at the most expense of someone else, the most detrimental to someone else. And here he is. He was able to get questioned and released to go back home. There was footage of him being severely grief stricken as after it happened, waiting for authorities to come or whatever. These poor people were airlifted to a local hospital. But unfortunately, like I said, one of them passing away at the time and unable to be saved. And it makes you wonder. Uh, like there was also a tweet he made a while back saying how, in reference to some sort of a case that he was retweeting or whatever, how does it feel to unintentionally kill someone? And he wound up doing that. He wound up unintentionally killing someone and severely injuring someone else. And it's pretty wild because it reminds you of days of when the movie The Crow happened and Brandon Lee dying because of a similar incident. But it was also a different thing because of being Bruce Lee's son. There was kind of conspiracy theory of Bruce Lee not playing nice with the local mafia of his country, and that's maybe how he passed away, and then took it out on the son that way. But I think that was mainly just like conspiracy theory. Like I said, nothing really would pan out from that. Who would you even find out of that anyway? Uh, if it was that type of scenario. But yeah, unfortunate scenario. What happened on that set of the movie? Jason Ackles was also a co-star in that movie. I don't know if he was there at the time, but he was also linked to the project. So they shut down the set. They shut down filming and all that other stuff to decompress and process what had happened on set. I don't know if there'd be any jail time that Alec Baldwin would do, but what I would assume after a few weeks of grieving by the family, there'd be some sort of civil suit or some sort of payment made by the studio. I would suggest uh, getting a lawyer. I mean, obviously, you don't want to. The day, um, I like someone like me can. It's easier for someone like me to say that right off the bat, right off the cuff, because I'm not emotionally tied like a family member would be. You know what I mean? Where it's devastation. It's unreal when you just talked to them yesterday or that morning or what have you, or said goodbye to them when they were off to work or whatever. Uh, and I hope that they're able to get some sort of recruitment off of that, and because that's pretty uh, gnarly to have to go through. You know what I mean? Where all you were trying to do is make a movie, and boom, and it was supposed to be a prop gun, but sometimes from what was hearing and looking up, I'm again no expert in guns. I don't want to like try to pretend I am or anything like that. I'm not like one of those type of guys. I'm familiar with like guns, but I couldn't tell you which one was which to that extent. You know what I mean? The difference between certain 9mm or different rifles or whatever like that. I would have to be schooled a little bit on some of that stuff, but um, I just don't know how you would even have that stuff on a set like that because you would just think that it avoids trouble. And from what I hear, also that even if you don't have like something in place of the bullet casing, something can still come out and hurt you and hit you. But from what I understand, it was like real ammunition. I could be wrong. I'll see. Um, what I'll see again in the next week, and if am wrong, I'll correct myself next week for sure because I don't want to necessarily misspeak intentionally on anything. But yeah, I just don't know why. Because it makes me then wonder: uh, are the children actors on the set? You know what I mean? What would have happened if this was a scene that included a child actor? For instance, I don't know. I don't know what scene they were getting ready to shoot that Alec Baldwin felt like he had to be pointing the gun at the director, unless it was a head-on shot of him, doing the pew pew thing. But again, I don't know why you would even. Uh, I don't know. I don't know. It's just really a tragic thing. Sure, they have all lawyers and they were on the case as soon as they realized what happened. I mean, yeah, like you know what I mean. It's one of those things where if I was like the father or mother's best friend, I would be like, "Listen, I know this may be tacky, but you better investigate getting into a lawyer with this shit because this is a fucking big time fuck up. This is a big time blunder, And like, come on, it's a big time blunder, and no more boss baby. I guess no more boss baby for a while, because that guy is going to be. I mean, I don't think he was like, oh, let me kill. I don't think he woke up and was like, oh, let me kill somebody today. I don't think he was like that on that level. Offense and defense. For real. For real. For real. But I mean, like I said, I don't think he woke up with like, I'm gonna hurt people today. I just think that I think probably what happened was they didn't take gun control seriously or gun safety seriously, because anytime I had handled the gun, I never first of all I never even would keep my finger like where the trigger is. I would always be told keep it outside just to avoid that. Um, Even if you twitch, you don't want to fucking do something stupid. So keep your finger outside. I was always told that, and then anytime I've ever just held it just to get the weight of it, it would always be at like an empty wall, which I would hope it would be an empty wall on the other side in case I accidentally did shoot. But then it would be just, where I'm hoping I'm just accidentally shooting into my empty wall. You know what I mean? Instead of accidentally shooting something or someone that can lead into a major thing. And you would think that the grown people would know this by now, some sort of intelligence when it comes to certain dangerous things, even if you think that uh, there's a time to fuck around and there's a time not to fuck around. You know what I mean? Like I've worked, for instance, I've worked jobs where I've had to use these things called high-lows, which are forklifts, and then as separate pair of scissors or what platforms, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, where it goes up and gets pallets like 10, 20 feet up or whatever. And uh, I would always fuck around. I would be the king of fucking around. But when I would be using this thing, I'd be like, don't even talk to me. I don't want to fuck around. Because, first of all, I don't want to drop $20,000 worth of merchandise down from the fucking ceiling and break it, or still make it fall and hurt somebody. You know what I mean? Like, and that's not even dealing with like, I mean, I guess those type of machines could be considered a deadly weapon if you were using it. Jason Williams. It seems familiar. I feel, because I know there's been a few deaths on movie sets. I think Apocalypse Now had one, or maybe I'm bugging on that one. And then there was this one guy who I don't know the name. Maybe this is the guy you're talking about. I'm not sure. I heard this one story where there was this actor playing like a BS game of Russian roulette, and they thought they were just playing with a bullshit gun. You know what I mean? Like a fucking toy gun or whatever, and wound up hurting himself. Basketball player. Yes, 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 yes. The basketball player. I liked Halloween Kills. It's just that it's really getting a little stale. How much longer can I keep up with these movies? Halloween Kills. I tell you, Eternally Grateful Seas. Tim and I were conversing about that movie earlier today or yesterday, and old Smoker Bishop really enjoyed Michael Myers. He said that he wasn't always a big Michael Myers dude. In a general sense, respected the legend, of course, but wasn't his top preference. Which is, that's the great thing about, again, these type of things. You can always debate and it's hard to really say Freddy can get the top spot. Michael, Jason, these type of things. The Leprechaun, I love the Leprechaun. But yeah, Halloween Kills is really was the bee's knees. I think they maybe will do one more. Maybe they'll do one more to where uh, because they spoiler alert for anyone watching this who hasn't watched it yet. Um, they wound up killing the daughter at the end of the movie, and so now it's just Laurie Strode and the granddaughter as whatever family's left. So I'm thinking the granddaughter is going to be the last one standing at the end, and somehow the cycle starts anew with some other fucking weirdo who wants to be Michael Myers and stalks the granddaughter for 1,000 years, 1,000 movies. You know what I mean? Like they're at some point they're always gonna make new universes of these things somehow, some way, or some sort of um, scenario like that. You know, but yeah, it was really good, man. It was really good. Um, but yeah, 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 yeah. I'm trying to think of what else, man. I've been up to. Oh yes, 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 yes. I wound up getting this bad boy. Now, um, I did say to Chrissy recently that with the holidays coming, I would take a break from buying comic books for a little while because I want to help try to save some money for the holidays and make it nice and stuff and have a few extra bucks because sometimes it's hard for me to get to the comic book store, so I have to get them shipped in. So where normally I can spend $10 on a dollar or $2 bin, uh, I have to kind of find these comics for like a couple bucks, and then I have to worry about the shipping and stuff. So I can't get as many as I want, so I have to be a little selective of it. But I used to collect Spider-Man 2099 back in the day. I might have mentioned this 1,000 times. I loved that whole 2099 series of comic books. There was Doom 2099, Punisher 2099, Spider Man 2099. I'm a weirdo who wants to be Michael Myers. Seriously, he just was like that's why I loved it at the time because that original Halloween I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do the retro blast on. I've been so tied up with time, I haven't yet recorded it. I'm gonna try to record it tomorrow. But that's the next retro blast. Halloween, the original one. He was 6 or 7, killed the sister, and then came back and tried to go after Laurie Strode and the other babysitters, and really just terrifying and menacing. And I just love that movie. And I love Dr. Loomis saying he's uh, just a no good kid, you know, harsh, but he knew from the beginning that Michael Myers was not redeemable in any quality, and that just makes a great villain. Just irredeemable. Sometimes that's really the best villain. It's a release of your imagination into this character or characters on what you would do, how you handle it. All these things. That's the hallmark of great stories. Put yourself into these things, and I think that original Halloween did it. Jamie Lee Curtis did a great job. I think it was one of her first movies. I don't want to say it was her first one. Evil Incarnate. Yes. Yes, that was. I remember hearing that phrase and it was like, Evil Incarnate. He just comes and kills he's relentless. He can't stop him. He can't. He got shot. He got thrown through windows. In this new one, the house full of, fire, he's and killed the whole fire department. Like, geez Louise, like, Who can stop this man? Yeah, but he's not a man. I don't think he's a man anyway. He's some sort of demon, possibly, something like that to that degree, but or something, man. He's just crazy with the killing, crazy with the killing, crazy with the killing, man. But yeah, yeah. Last comic book for the time being, Spider-Man 2099. This came out in 2015. It's number two. And I guess the main story is that Miguel O'Hara gets pulled into the modern Marvel universe of 2015 instead of 2099, and is trying to acclimate to that as he is trying to get back to 2099. That's pretty much what it looks like the series is, a summary of it anyway. I liked the cover. I liked the character original run from back in the 90s. I collected a lot of those issues. I had almost the whole run at one point. Uh, Off by maybe 5 issues of having the whole run. Something I'd like to do again. Uh, but, patience, patience. Like good old Axero says, all you need is a little patience. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the time being. I really appreciate everyone stopping by, commenting, sharing, liking all that beautiful stuff. It's fun. I hope that you can leave me your favorite uh, corny, funny Halloween movies down below. And I think next week I'm definitely gonna come up with a list of top five. Let's see, top five. I like to maybe do a top five of scream queens of horror movies, and maybe do a little spotlight on some of these actresses who uh, carried and made horror movies. Maybe not even, like maybe top five horror performances by these females at the time, whether it be movie from the 70s, 80s, 90s, or current day. I'll go through the horror movies I know and look up some I don't know and see where the general consensus is on where some of these performances are. And you're more than welcome to leave your opinion down below. Who has been some of your favorite female performances in a horror movie? Was it Sarah Michelle Gellar? Was it Neve Campbell? Was it Jamie Lee Curtis? Karen Black? You know what I mean? There's so many um, great actresses, and the reason why you call them Scream Queens, she has been around forever, Karen Black. You're right about that, Turley. Yes. Wasn't she the mother? She was Mother Firefly. Um, because of the screaming, like, when they finally get cornered or just getting chased or whatever, or seeing their friend get slaughtered, the scream is what really brings it home, so to speak. The get up and go to the actress because you want to make it relatively realistic. You know what I mean? Sleepaway Camp. That was a good movie. I actually might want to watch that this week with you. And go over that too. Sleepaway Camp, man, I forgot about that movie. They did a few of those movies. And then there was wasn't there one called Slumber Party Massacre or something like that from back in the day? Yeah, see, that's why I thought you initially said Eternally Grateful Seas. That's why I was like, I want to watch that with you. And then I noticed Tim said it, and I was like, oh, that might be a little hard watching it with him because of the distance at the moment. We'd have to sync up our times and watch it together via video cam. But yeah, um, yeah, Sleepaway Camp. That was the shit. And then I remember there was this movie back in the day called April Fool's Day. Um, I thought that was pretty hysterical back in the day. Trying to think of some of these, who was uh, really part of the horror genre back early. Slumber Party Massacre. Yes, I knew I was right. Vincent Price back in the day was a big like horror staple with shows and movies and stuff like that. Oh, you be down this weekend? All right, maybe we'll all do sleepover camp, sleepover camp on the weekend. Be spooky times, oh girl, Scoob, scary. Uh, that was a horrible rendition of whatever the hell I was trying to do. Oh my god, yeah, Halloween and horror movies are so fun. There's so many corny movies that uh like you just to goof on just for shits and giggles, and it's really uh yeah, great to just make memories with people around you, man, and just be able to look back on those times, and when you come across those movies again, it's fun times, fun times. But yeah, I just want to thank everyone again. I hope that the rest of your weekend goes well. I hope that I was able to add to your day. I want to thank you for spending your time with me. Time is the most valuable commodity that we have because it is truly one thing we can never get back. And here at Tully Television, and for everyone involved, we really appreciate time. That's why we want to give you a fun time, good content, good videos. Uh, Whatever you guys ever want me to talk about or have my opinion on stuff, I'll be up for it and honest as I can be. Whether I like something, not like something, or things along those lines. As far as movies and shows are concerned, or music. But once again, I thank you again. Uh, until next time, peace, Snookums.